So birds have inspired music themselves, but their own dawn chorus is a kind of music that affects human beings wherever they are worldwide.
Also fascinating the way that different birds have different meanings around the world. Can you give us some examples?
Yes, the classic example is, we have Disneyfied owls in Europe and America, and owls are amongst our most popular birds, so much so that, we often feature owls on our Christmas card, and yet in parts of Africa, owls are still, as they were in Europe and Britain and in America, for all people in fact, an omen of disaster and death, and people kill owls and sell them in markets as fetish objects, and they grind them up, often their hearts, into magico-medicinal concoctions. Africa is struggling to free itself from this terror, if you like. I mean, a classic story we included was a Malawian hospital where an owl flew in and the patients fled in terror. This was in 1995. Some of them stoned it to the ground and set it on fire with paraffin.
So a completely different response to what we, for example, in this country have now. I guess, though, what sort of drives the book and the thread running through it is a serious message about what we stand to lose if bird populations decline. I mean, there was one startling statistic about the starling, about how the numbers across Europe have plummeted.
Well, this will read strangely to Americans because they have 500 million starlings and they hate them as a pest. But ironically, in the countries of their origin in Europe, starlings have declined massively. And of course, starlings create extraordinary roost concentrations.
Those wonderful sort of footage that we often see of these huge populations swarming in, like a sort of dance in the sky, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, I liken them to a kind of amoeba. But it's an amoeba that can involve 1 million or 10 million birds and spread across the sky for miles. And they're incredibly beautiful and used constantly now in adverts and things like that. But I think what the book tries to say is this, that we think of biological loss as somehow about the environment. Actually, it's about the human soul, because what these birds allow us is to express ourselves about life, about experience. If you have no cuckoos, you can't have Delius writing the first cuckoo in spring. If you have no skylarks, and skylarks have declined by 60% across the entire Eurasian continent, then you cannot write the lark ascending, and you have school children who've never heard a skylark. Birds allow us to express ourselves. They're ambassadors in our relationship with nature, and they remind us of the smallness of our experience sometimes, and that there's a wide world out there beyond us, which is also important.
Mark Cocker there, author of